I've made over $213,000 sending cold outreach DMs on Instagram. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what I learned throughout this process and the things I wish I would have implemented sooner within my business to get better responses, to get more paying customers, and to just overall see more growth through running some sort of info product business or coaching business on Instagram. I've broken it down into really a 4-step process, and I've also kind of came up with 3 different things that you really should know before sending a bunch of cold outreach DMs that'll actually get you responses and paying customers. I've been doing this for the last year. I've really kind of cracked the code on Instagram. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go to my computer. I'm going to break down the entire process for you. And by the end of this video, you should be able to implement these processes inside of your coaching business, your info product business, or really whatever you're doing to try to get responses on Instagrams, paying customers, anything like that. So let's go to my computer. I'm going to break down the whole system for you. All right, so we're at the laptop now. This is going to be the general process of what I'm going to be going over. I'm going to get deeper into it later in the video, but this is going to be the overview. It's going to be rapport, pain, depth, and pitch. When you're really having any sort of sales conversation, this is specifically in the DMs, but when you're having any sort of sales conversation, this is kind of going to be the structure that you're following. You obviously have to build rapport with the customer, with anyone that you're talking to. You need to figure out, their pain, why they might need you, go into depth in that pain, why it hasn't worked, all of that, and then obviously pitch and show how you can bridge them from where they're at now to where they want to go with, getting rid of all their pains and helping them through the process. So this is going to be the general overview that I'm following throughout this video and throughout the diagram. But before that, I have 3 things that I think everyone needs to know when sending any sort of cold outreach DM. And these are going to be these 3 things. Now, I'm going to go more in depth into these, but number 1, don't be a bot. Number 2, the money is in the follow-up. And number 3, speed is key. So what does all that mean? Let's start off with the first thing of just not being a bot. Okay, so not being a bot. What do I mean by this? And I know it might sound funny, like just don't be a robot, but it's so crucial. This is the most important piece of advice that you need to know before sending any sort of cold outreach DM, because think about if you're trying to outreach a big creator or an influencer, and you're trying to do what I do for my business partner, run their back end, build them a coaching business, build them a community, something like that. If you just sound like every other person that's in their DMs, oh, hey, I can help you out, watch this loom, or I can help you make, 100K with your audience. You're not unique. You're not going to get their attention at all, and they're just going to brush you off as another bot. You need to be unique, and you can't sound like everyone else. This goes for outreaching an influencer. This goes for outreaching a customer. So an example out of, what I deal with on a day-to-day basis is all my customers are different. They all have different Instagram profiles. Some of them are already resellers. Some of them aren't resellers already. Find something unique or specific about their profile if you can, and mention it in your outreach message to start. If someone goes to a certain college, you'd be like, oh, hey, like I have a friend that goes to this college. How is it? Like you can literally do anything like that. Like for me, I deal with a lot of people who are resellers. I'll be like, oh, that's a cool pair of shoes on your page. Like, where did you end up getting those? Do something that doesn't come off as, hey, I can make you this amount of money. What are you struggling with? Like, it just sounds robotic and it sounds like a copy and paste message. You need to treat each lead or each person that you're outreaching as a new person with a unique skill set, a unique traits, like anything like that. And you need to tie that into the conversation. So you can't be a bot and it can't sound like a copy and paste message. If you're trying to use this video to outreach like an influencer, literally just say something random, like get their attention. Don't sound like every other person. If you're outreaching a potential cold customer, like usually what I'm doing, say something about their page. Say something to catch their attention. Hey, are you trying to get into this? Hey, what do you, just be unique. That's the best I can say to you, and don't be a bot. There's really no like magic trick to it, and nothing I can really say like as a specific example, but don't be a bot. Don't sound like every other person. Be unique in some way. Literally just say something crazy, say something about their account, and then you can tie it all back in. But you can't be a bot. That's the biggest thing. And if you're a bot, no matter what I go over in the rest of this video is not going to apply, because you're going to sound like a robot and people are just going to brush you off. So number one piece of advice I have for anyone sending cold outreach DMs of any sort on Instagram, really anywhere, is don't be a bot. Act like you're having an actual conversation with the person. So with that being said, I'm going to go into the second piece of advice on my computer. All right. So the second piece of advice that you need to know before sending an outreach DM is you are probably not going to get the quick response time that you want at first. The real money is going to be in the follow-up. I have a rule that I use for my now setter that handles all the Instagram DMs, is follow up until they either one, respond, or two, block you, because that's really all you need, right? So the money is in the follow-up. And I literally got an example from this. This is a customer right here on Instagram who ended up closing inside of our coaching program, gave us $3,000 to be a part of our program, to get mentored by myself and my business partner. And this is a look at the initial conversation that was had. So hit them with the first line, hey, hope you're doing well, appreciate the follow, how's business been for you this month? Now, this person was already a reseller, so this is a standard question you would ask, is like, how's business been for you this month? Trying to see, where they're at. Business is slow, but I want it to be faster. I mean, that was a great response. We saw that, we're like, holy crap, this is awesome. It's slow for them. They want it to get faster. They already gave a pain point without us even really asking for it. And then we ran into the follow-up of death. And I'm not going to lie, when my setter showed me this, by the time they sent this message right here, I was like, yeah, like this person isn't responding. But what did they do? They kept following up. Boom, got the response. So take a look at this. This person replied to the message on the 22nd of August. We responded right away. And then literally, look at this. The 23rd of August, no response, send them a question mark, just like, did you see it? Literally the 1st of September, you there, question mark. 4th of September, they're literally seeing the rest messages, not replying, like, saw you read my message, didn't reply, like, is everything good? Still seeing the messages, hey, like, how are you doing? Like, are you even seeing this? If they didn't reply to this one, I was probably going to say something like, did I say something to offend you? Or something like that. Something that's going to get them to reply. Maybe even send like a GIF or something like that. And then boom, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 follow-ups, got the response. Sorry to never respond. I'm not in any Discord channels and I work full time. So literally just carried on with this conversation of why is it slowing down? So this just shows, and this person, I didn't show the rest of the conversation, but they ended up getting on a call and closing for $3,000. And that's after sending 5 follow-ups. So the money is in the follow-ups, and I'm not just making this up. Like, you need to follow up with your outreach DMs like heavily until they block you or pay you, pretty much. That's how it's going to be. So the last piece of advice that I think is very important is going to be that speed is key. And I'm going to go into this deeper. All right, so speed is key. What do I mean by this? Because you're probably a little bit confused. What I mean is literally when you're sending outreach DMs and you get a response, you need to be on your replies fast. I'd say by the time they reply, you need to have responded in the next 10 minutes. Because what happens is if someone sends you a reply and you wait a whole day, like you sleep, you wake up, and then you reply the next morning, by that time, their interest in whatever you might have said to them is gone. People and just humans in general have a very short attention span. So you could be talking to them about their pain. They could be pouring their heart and soul of their pain out to you. And if you take, a good like 5 hours to respond, they probably completely forgot about it by then. And they're either one, not going to respond, or going to give you like a half-assed response that you can't really do anything with. So you need to be fast in these DMs. And when you're practicing and getting better at outreach DMs and you're sending more, you need to be on your phone and ready to reply. Obviously, this is what I was doing in the beginning and I was glued to my phone. Now, luckily, I've hired an appointment setter for my coaching business. But at the start, you're going to need to be glued to your phone and you're going to need to be responding quick. So speed is key. And don't forget that in the beginning stages, you need to be replying fast. Keep their attention on you. Don't let a great client or a great someone that you're trying to work with get away because you took too long to respond. Prioritize responding fast. So those are the three pieces of critical advice I wish I knew. And now what we're going to do is going to dive deeper into that diagram of rapport, pain, depth, and pitch. And I'm going to go into that on my computer and really kind of outline each step and even show you guys a live DM of me following that exact diagram and kind of show you what it looks like. So let's go back to the computer. All right, so we're back at the computer, back at this initial diagram that I was showing you. The reason why I wanted to share with you these like three critical pieces of advice before I went more into depth on the diagram is because you could follow this and you could take like exactly what I'm going to show you inside of the live DM I'm going to show you. But if you're not following this, like you're cooked and it's not going to work. So I think it's very important for you to know these three things first. And now that you do know that, this is going to be a lot easier for you. So let's dive deeper into rapport, pain, depth, and pitch. So what I've done is, like I said, guys, on this channel, I want to be transparent as possible. So what I've done is I've actually gathered screenshots from a DM with a client who we outreached completely cold, booked him in on a call completely cold, warmed him up, and actually closed him on our $3,000 offer. So let's go into this. I'm literally going to go step by step. I'm not skipping anything on this. So here we go. This person couldn't tell by their account if they were a reseller. Now, here's the thing too, like initial step, like what I'm showing you about rapport and not, this goes into not being a bot is if I would have just said, hey, how's business been with this person? And I don't even know if they're a reseller yet. They'd be like, what are you talking about? So this person didn't really look like they were a reseller yet. So I said, hey, Brandon, like, hope you're doing well. Appreciate the follow. Like, are you trying to get into reselling sneakers? I'm considering it. Cool. Always acknowledge, fire, my man. Like, what made you want to get into this? Like, just have the conversation. We're not going too deep into pain yet. What made you want to get into it? I'm just trying to make a little bit of extra money. Cool. So we know that they're trying to make extra money. Awesome, man. Do you have a specific goal you're trying to hit? Like, how much money are you trying to make? Yeah, like maybe 1 to 2K. Cool. Hell yeah, that's super solid. 2K would be fire. So now that we know they're interested in getting into it, they want to make extra money. We know how much money they want to make. What's holding you back from doing that? And this goes to, let's say you're trying to, I know my last video I was talking about, partnering with an influencer or a creator who you're trying to build a coaching program for, a mentorship. Like with this, if you're trying to outreach a creator like that, if you ask them like, hey, have you ever tried making money with your audience? And they're like, no, but I want to, like, what's holding you back from doing it? So it goes similar way. This is going to be getting into pain. So what's holding you back from scaling to 2K profit per month and starting this whole thing? Finding inventory that is demanded and still profitable. Boom. That's a huge point right there. So they have trouble finding inventory. Gotcha, bro. So just like connecting with suppliers, if you had that connect, how much money are you starting with to buy and sell shoes? Now, if you're outreaching a creator, it's going to be different. But if you're outreaching a potential customer, then you need to qualify them. And you want to qualify them early because if you go through all of these DMs and you don't qualify them, and then they get on the call and they're like, I actually have $50, you're going to want to throw your computer at a wall. So you need to qualify them early. This person was qualified. I got a couple thousand I can invest in for quick sales. Boom. And then for this person, like that was right on the verge of what our offer, because obviously our offer is 3K. They also need to have money for inventory. So we needed to further qualify this person. So what we really did is kind of figured out if they had that range of, like 4K. And then we actually figured out if they had a job or not, because basically if they say they have a couple thousand and you kind of need them to have a little bit more, figure out what they do for work, figure out if they have money coming in. And this guy did have money coming in. And the coolest thing is he was actually he had family from where my business partner was located. So when I saw this, are you in Knoxville? I got family there. Boom, build even more rapport here. Yeah, I'm actually in Knox. I graduated from UT this semester. That's just building rapport. And then we can go into the next question. Congrats on graduating. We're like, how long have you been trying to do this? Talking about his degree, just building rapport. You did accounting for your major. This was all just, building rapport. with this person to kind of build up that trust, build up just friendly conversation. Now, I could have completely put this to the side and ignored that he said, "Hey, like, are you from Knoxville?" But it's good to build rapport and not rush the process. Now, after we kind of gone through that, build a little bit of more rapport, we can go more in depth with the pain, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. So, with reselling, like, do you have a plan to start? And notice what I say here. This is very important. Do you have a plan on your own to start consistently finding profitable inventory and really get this thing going? What I'm doing is I'm tying his pain back into going into more depth with it. Do you have a plan to overcome that pain? Remember what he said: finding inventory that is demanded and profitable. What do I ask here? Do you have a plan to find profitable inventory and really get this thing going? Well, I don't have time to search websites trying to find profitable inventory. That's why I thought I might purchase in bulk. So this guy, he didn't understand really what to do. He couldn't search websites. He couldn't have that much time to do that. He needed a way to find pairs in bulk, and he didn't have a plan for that yet. So I built rapport. I figured out what his pain was, and then I went into depth on his pain. Now, the next thing, which you probably saw from my other video too, is pitch. So I'd love to hop on a call with you, Brandon. I actually have a coaching program where I've helped over 70 resellers build connections with bulk suppliers, consistently source profitable inventory, and get to 3 to 5K each month. Based on our conversation, it sounds like you might be a good fit. Would you be down to schedule some time this week to hop on a call and talk more to see if you are someone I can help as well? So all I did here is I tied his exact pain. He wanted to get into bulk. He wanted to consistently source profitable inventory, and he wanted to get to 2K profit. So I bumped it up and said 3 to 5. I literally took his exact pains and what he wanted and took it into my pitch and say, "Hey, let's hop on a call and see if I can help you get there." Of course he's going to say sure. I have a calendar link, send him the calendar link. And the crazy thing is we actually had to follow up again here. Morning, did you see a time that would work for you? He didn't book when we sent him this. Sorry, things got hectic. Maybe I could try for Thursday. He got it booked in. I told him that he was going to be talking with me as my business partner, Zane, because Zane, I'm in Zane's DMs. I'm actually booking him in to talk with me. And this was actually my setter at the time. And then boom, send him a video. And if you watch my last video, you know to warm up the leads before the call, we send him a VSL. He watches this before the video, and this guy ultimately ended up closing. So that's the DM. And you saw I followed these 3 things. I was not a bot with this guy. I was talking to him about Knoxville and college and all that. I had to follow up in this conversation to make sure he booked the call. And in this whole conversation, speed was key. I was responding fast to what he was saying. And this whole conversation, besides the follow-up, obviously, was in like a range of like 20 minutes. So it was all fast. And I followed this diagram as well. I built the rapport. I figured out his pain. I went more into depth on his pain, and then I pitched him based on how I could take him from his pain and bridge him over to where he wanted to get to, which is that 2K plus in profit. So this is what it looks like, guys. And it's very simple. You just need to not be it all comes down to not being a bot. So follow this diagram. Let me know how this works for you, whether you're outreaching customers, whether you're outreaching a creator, trying to build them, a community or a mentorship. But if you have a coaching product, if you have a coaching business or an info product business, and you're selling through Instagrams, use this strategy because I promise you it will work. I have cash collected this $213,650 using this system. So I promise you it will work. So if you took any value from this, if you plan on using this at all, I appreciate you watching the video. Please subscribe if you took value from it. Leave a like, leave a comment. I reply to all the comments, so any questions that you have, I will reply there. You can also find my Instagram in the description, and you can follow me and shoot me a DM, and I'll also give you any advice there as well. So yeah, please subscribe, like, comment, DM me on Instagram if you have any questions, and I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next.